Okay, so do you want to start?
Yeah, I think we should get started.
I'm gonna glance at the lovely script you gave me, Aimee. I like the fact that we're both type A, but you're like A bold 18 font, so you do stuff before I ever have to do anything. That's what makes this friendship work so well. I'm quite codependent on you now. Okay. Aimee, do you want to start by telling us what consistent life ethic is and means?
Sure. So the consistent life ethic is basically built on this foundational belief in the dignity of human beings, regardless of circumstances. So that means that we oppose all different forms of aggressive violence, whether it's abortion or unjust war, torture, euthanasia, the death penalty, embryonic stem cell research. It means having this consistent regard for the life of every human being. So, Destiny, I want to hear about New Wave feminism from you.
New Wave, where do I begin with New Wave feminism? So our whole belief is that we're pro-life because we're pro-woman. Women were treated like property for so long, and now for some reason we see the feminist movement fighting to treat their own children, our own children, like property. And any time in history that's been done, that we've devalued human life or created these subsets of people and said, oh, they're not fully human, not fully valuable. We've always looked back on it with complete horror at how barbaric it is. And one day, thanks to even just the technical advances we've already been making, we have this amazing ability to see inside the womb now and see the humanity of the unborn. And so I don't think it'll be very long until abortion is viewed as equally as barbaric. And true strength comes from standing up for the vulnerable. And that is what New Wave feminism is all about.
It really, to me, it seems like the consistent life ethic and New Wave feminism really were built to be best friends. So.
Best friends, wow. Yes. I think, no, that's fine. And because you do all the work, so we get along really, really well. All right. So let's talk about the Women's March on Washington and why we're going there. Why is it so imperative that we be there, Aimee?
We're women. I think, but both of our organizations are run by strong women, strong, very opinionated women. There's nothing soft about our passion. So I think that's really, probably the biggest thing is we're women too.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've kind of been joking about the fact that pro-lifers were not invited to the march, but I mean, let's be honest, nobody was really invited. However, we've definitely seen that the main organizations that the official march is partnering with tend to be pro-choice. So it's not like I'm shocked in any way that they're not partnering with pro-life feminists. They've always been kind of hostile to that message, but we are gaining momentum. And I feel like that's all the more reason for us to be out there. This is an audience of women who might be receptive to the consistent life ethic and certainly pro-life feminism. Once, they kind of get those wheels turning. We joke a lot of times about the default pro-choice feminist that you go into college and you have like your feminist starter kit and it comes with like, oh, you're pro-choice. And so, default pro-choice starter kit. And I think a lot of women don't realize that you can be pro-life and be a feminist. And sometimes it's just as simple as showing up. And if there's 10 of us out there, if there's, 300 of us out there, it doesn't matter because we're saying this is absolutely a thing that we certainly know is a large growing movement right now of women who believe in the consistent life ethic and ending violence, especially inside of the womb.
Absolutely. I do want to mention, this, I guess the beginning of the Women's March on Washington, when it was first called the Million Woman March, and they realized, maybe cultural appropriation was happening, so they changed it. And it really gained momentum right away after the election, because I think the angst of, many of the women who had been Hillary supporters. So the march really started out as this very anti-Trump event. I guess, like, how can you talk about what pro-life feminists have to lend to the conversation, what their voices have to offer in terms of, the situation around Donald Trump, come his inauguration next week?
I mean, he's going to be president, which still blows my mind. I can't understand it, but he is. And so we're at the point now where we need to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. And when we go out there and represent where we come from, I think there are quite a few pro-lifers, obviously, who were never Trump, because at the core of our pro-life belief, it is having respect for human dignity and the human person. And Donald Trump does not necessarily represent that very well to a lot of people, right? And so I think we need to unite with, our pro-choice and pro-life sisters, everyone out there together, and say, we are not going to stand for misogyny. It is 2017. The fact that his behavior in the past could continue on to this administration of the future is a scary thing for a lot of us. But I think we need to go out there and just kind of unify and say, we're going to be watching you. We're going to be making sure that that your misogyny does not have any place in the White House, and that you actually do represent the American people, not just, the people you like, the beautiful women or the losers or the fat slobs or what. We're all Americans. And so Donald Trump is now called to represent all of us, and we need to make sure that our voices are heard. One of the biggest messages that I think as pro-life feminists we need to be pushing is, if Planned Parenthood is going to be defunded, we need to make sure that that money is reallocated to pro-woman, pro-healthcare organizations. So I certainly understand taking the money away from any type of abortion provider, but we need to make sure that women are still being able to get care. I myself am an uninsured woman, and so this is something that is very, very important to me. We have a lot of federally qualified health centers, that's true, but very few of them actually are comparable to Planned Parenthood in the sense that they have healthcare providers there who are able to offer gynecological services, and it's just due to underfunding. All of the tax money has been going to Planned Parenthood for that, and maybe it's time that we reallocate that money now so that these federally qualified health centers can, actually serve the women who need it the most.
Right. The analogy I often tell people is, if we had a childcare center that had top of the line childcare, best educational practices, and it was low or no cost for the families, but they killed 3% of the children that were in their care each year, we wouldn't stand for it. We wouldn't fund them. So Absolutely. There have to be better options, and we have to work to provide those non-violent healthcare options as a culture that wants to promote life. So
absolutely, because you have to think, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but what message are we sending poor and uninsured women by saying you need to receive your health care at an abortion provider? Okay, so then if I get pregnant, I kind of feel like I know what you want me to do, right? You don't want me to have a child that could possibly, need any type of government aid. And I think it's very obvious that that's what's happening. And so offering women life-affirming and empowering options when it comes to healthcare is vital, and it's something that this more conservative administration certainly has an opportunity to radically serve women in a way that unfortunately many don't expect, but it would be so wonderful if they came out in full support of nonviolent women's healthcare.
Absolutely.
So what are our goals at the march, Aimee? I know that was one thing that we talked about. Some groups are going to be out there protesting, but tell me what our presence is going to be as pro-life feminists.
Especially in light of the mission, vision, and guiding principles listed on the Women's March on Washington website. only appropriate that we participate, and we participate with gusto. You know, their guiding principles list Kingian nonviolence as a core part of what they stand for. So, you know, when I saw the mission and vision and their values, I like laughed to myself. And like, wow, I wonder if there's somebody who's a pro-life feminist on their core team, because the verbiage is really so pro-life. It's like supporting human dignity, supporting human rights, supporting the rights of women, regardless of age or disability. When I read that, I was like, age or disability? It's like, they must support rights for preborn girls too, right? So I think it's absolutely crucial that we present this truly holistic, consistent ethic of life, this truly holistic feminism that is pro-life to the grassroots people that will be there. Our goal is not to protest. Our goal is to have fruitful dialogue with the people who are there on the ground who want to make their voices heard.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will not be protesting in any way. We are absolutely 100% there to participate in this march and represent the pro-life and consistent life ethic and feminist contingent that our own movement has there in DC. Plus, we are huge fans of being freezing cold and marching, so much so that we're going to do it twice in 1 week, right?
Oh my gosh, it's going to be a blast. I did want to read something really quick, just because I feel like there are some people who feel like we're not welcome. There have been articles that have made it out to be that pro-life welcome or pro-life women are not welcome at the Women's March, and they've had tons of social media sharing to make it clear all are welcome. Like, all are welcome is everywhere. So the last paragraph of their mission statement says, "We call on all defenders of human rights to join us." And I just think that's so obviously a standing invitation to us. Oh no, Destiny left. Which is okay. Let's see if I can invite her back. Well, do any of you have any questions so far for me? For me and Destiny, for that matter. I think Destiny. Welcome back.
Hey, you froze. I did like a whole sign off. My second ending is not going to be nearly as good as that first ending I just did.
Oh no.
It's all good. I just invite everybody to come march with us. Is there anything else that we should add that we've left out?
I mean, we should just, I think, talk about where we're going to be and what we'll have with us. So
that sounds like real official stuff. So I'm going to let you go ahead and take this one since you're real official.
So first of all, you should find New Wave Feminist and Life Matters Journal on Facebook, because our Facebook events have lots of these details available there. But we are going to be meeting on Independence Avenue in front of the Air and Space Museum. It's about 2.5 blocks away from the rally location. So we're going to meet up in front of the Air and Space Museum and then make our way over to the main rally, probably around 9:30 or so. So we'll be meeting in front of the Air and Space Museum at 9 a.m. the day of the Women's March. We'll have plenty of free signs. The signs I have behind me will all be available for free. We'll be like passing them out like free candy. We'll have, temporary face tattoos and stickers and buttons. So you will have all the swag you will ever need if you come.
You could get a job at Chili's afterwards. Like, wear some suspenders and we'll just button you up with all your flair.
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, if you want to reach us for any sort of media inquiry, how do we reach you, Destiny?
Don't leave me a voicemail. I'll never listen to it. I'll respond like 6 months later. So the march will be long gone by then. Through our Facebook page is a great way, or Destiny at newwavefeminists.com. Yep, that's it.
Okay, and if you want to reach myself or our social media coordinator for Life Matters Journal, it's Aimee, AIMEE, at lifemattersjournal.org, or Rosemary at lifemattersjournal.org. You can reach either of us for any sort of media inquiry. Well, thank you so much to those who are watching. We hope you join us.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. You know, this summer at the DNC and RNC, we had great dialogue, and I'm hoping that that continues.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be warm enough to think thoughts. I have that problem in DC sometimes. My brain just doesn't make thoughts anymore. So I'm going to bring a bunch of like those little packets with
I just stick them in my nose, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm going to, and then I'm going to have a flask. No, just kidding. I'm not, probably not. Like 50% chance I'll have a flask, but I'll share. All right. Well, we will see you there.
Thanks for joining us, y'all.